Hello, everyone. My guest today is Jason Zintak. He's the CEO of a company called 6sense, which is transforming marketing and sales through artificial intelligence. All right, Jason, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So before this, were you founder at Platfora or just CEO later on?
I was hired in as CEO.
Okay, with an equity round or something, you an ARR somewhere?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, and that was acquired by Workday in 2016, right?
That's right.
And then you also were CRO at Responsys.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Marketing company. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. Hopefully you got a little bit. Hopefully you're on the cap table there in a meaningful way, right? A small exit.
Yep. And then we lived inside Oracle Marketing Cloud for a couple of years.
Yeah. So, well, give me some context on you personally here first. I mean, did you get, fuck you money and those kinds of deals, or was it really, you were still hungry, you really want to go out and build 6sense and do your own thing again?
Well, I wouldn't call it that money. I mean, everything's a good capital event and the world keeps going forward, but I have a ton of entrepreneur hunger and actually saw the combination of Responsys, the email marketing company, Oracle Marketing Cloud, and then the big data aspect of Platfora. This is the combination of really those last three experiences.
Yeah. So explain, maybe tell the story of a customer that's giving you permission to tell their story, how they're using you today.
So most people would use what I call a next generation sales and marketing platform to actually take the old lead world and contact world and flip it on its head. So today, B2B organizations are going to market via account and want to leverage data in order to be more surgical with that sales and marketing tactic. So, I mean, there are 7.5 billion people in the world. We send today 270 billion emails daily to a population of that 7.5 around 3.5 billion use email. And so the waste and clutter is way too much. Our platform today allows you to de-anonymize B2B buyers as they're looking and doing their research. They no longer contact sales rep of old marketing department. They're looking to understand their purchase, and we help de-anonymize that. And through that insight, we then have graphed 5.5 million companies that allows us to engage more purposely with a tactic, i.e. an email, a display ad, a BDR sales reach out based on that insight.
Just to be clear, when you said we send 270 billion emails per day, that is not 6sense. That is as a world.
That is the world. Absolutely.
I was going to say, Pete, you're going to have people coming after you just going, this is the guy that's responsible for my inbox 7,000.
No, through our data, as I said, we're trying to be more, strike attack like a sniper. So we're trying to reduce the email sends, the global email sends, and make it more appropriate. So it's in this world of engagement economy with the people at the accounts, it needs to be more spot on and purposeful to their.
So are people basically uploading their current best customer list to you, and you're generating a lookalike audience and then going after them with precision, or are you giving like but identifying information to like IP addresses browsing your customer's website so they actually know who the browser is?
It's a little bit of both. So we would take a company's first party data, their CRM system, outbound, their contacts, known users or known clients and prospects, and their marketing automation, and then marry that with behavioral web data. And that's part of our AI and ML that basically looks through that. We've mapped 5.5 million companies worldwide, which is probably 80 to 85% of what the B2B org needs. And that allows for that identity, this company graph we've built, which is the persona attached to the company worldwide, completely GDPR compliant, PII proof, and soon to be with California laws.
That's great. Okay, so give me a general sense. I'm sure you have a massive kind of deviation between kind of account sizes, but just because we don't have time to do all of them, what's the average customer paying per month, would you say, for your technology?
Around 150K.
Okay, per month?
Per year.
Per year. Okay, so call it maybe $12,000 a month, something like that.
Yeah, and that's probably the mid-market, and then the large enterprises spend more.
Yeah. We're just talking an average across all your customers, 10, 12 grand a month.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I'm sure you have some that go well into the millions.
Correct.
Yeah. Put this on a timeline for me. When did you launch?
The company's about 5 years old. I came in 2 years ago, and in the last 3 years, we've tripled our bookings, revenue bookings year over year. Mm-hmm. And the company's gone from about 45 employees to 150.
Okay, so 150 employees today. But so 2014 was launch date. Sorry, you said you came in 3 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So we'll call that 2017, 3 years after launch?
Correct.
All the founders still there?
All the founders are still there, with the exception of one. There are four co-founders.
Come on, Jason, give me this. Give me the story. Give me that. Give me the half smile story here.
I don't actually really know the story because I wasn't there.
Come on.
It was just a departure by one of four because there's probably too many cooks in the kitchen. But they're all the majority are still there and involved, and all investors still.
Yeah. So you come in 2 years ago, 2017, founded in 2014. Did you come in with the raise? Did you come in with a VC round?
I did. I came. Yes, I did.
So I'm assuming you came in then with was it with the Salesforce venture round or Bain Capital?
So it was a combination. In total, the last raise was $27 million, and so there was a little bit of a refresh at the time I came to give operating runway. But that's the aggregate. The last round, Salesforce was early. Battery, Bain, Venrock.
But industry ventures came in April 2019. So you came in way before that, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So which round did you come in with? The Bain round in 2015?
I came in after that Bain round.
After that Bain round. Okay, got it. Were you chosen by Bain, or what facilitated the CEO transition?
I think it was a combination with the founders, which were the CTO and CEO, and the board that thought the company had gotten to a certain juncture where they wanted to maximize and leverage with additional operating experience, and so that was the decision, post round.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Now, since then, total capital in the company is what?
60 million.
60, correct?
Correct.
All equity, or have you leveraged debt?
All equity.
Do you have an opinion on debt, considering your background in B2B SaaS? Have you ever used it?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's your opinion on it? I mean, healthy for an entrepreneur to preserve equity, or can be dangerous from a cash flow perspective?
As long as it's not over leveraged, I think it's perfectly healthy. And that's a decision point. Do you want to minimize dilution, and how far in debt are you willing to go? But I've used it as a small percentage of overall raise.
Yeah. If I asked you what you feel, this is an unfair question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. A CEO looking to use debt, what do you feel like is too much debt as a ratio to their current revenue? Like half of their ARR, in debt is fine. 3x their ARR is fine.
What is too much? Double, I suppose.
You think that's fair? Okay. Interesting. Cool. All right. I know you're going off limited data points there, but that's fine. All right. 150 folks on the team today. How many are engineers?
43.
40. Have you done anything to
Pardon me?
Have you done anything there to kind of reduce your R&D expense, taking advantage of Shred in Canada or other programs around the world?
Well, we have an India operations, and that's part of it, but we pretty much are a work anywhere company, and we try to hire where the talent is as opposed to an epicenter. We're headquartered in San Francisco, but we now have offices in Austin and New York and Boston. Nothing international yet, although we have international customers.
Very cool. And then obviously to land these customers at these ACVs, you can definitely afford, obviously, field sales, even inside sales, et cetera. How many quota carrying folks do you have?
We have 18.
18. Now, did that program exist before you came, or did you instrument the field, the sales motion?
We had about 4 reps at the time I came, and we grew the field organization as part of a calculated play.
How do you, again, I imagine you did this at other companies as well. You were the CRO at the last one. I mean, how do you, for people that are scaling their sales team, what is kind of the biggest mistake you see them doing? And what do you recommend people kind of put their kind of the sales compensation OT relative to the bookings target or the quota? Do you like to see a 5X there, a 10X? What do you think is optimal?
I think the biggest mistake young companies make is scaling before there's a product market fit. So hiring the field organization and hoping to work magic and performance against quota when you haven't really found a fit with the product that a market wants. And so you've got to be careful there. Additionally, and so we sort of let the rope out slowly, if you will. And once it started to work and we saw attainment, we had roughly 90% attainment against quotas for the reps. We knew that something was working. And so every next rep that we hired, we were pretty confident would be productive. And as far as, we have, I forget your question on the ratio, but we have roughly $1 million quota per rep.
Okay.
And it works.
Yep. And now, obviously, this is
you've got to grow responsibly and efficiently, and so you don't get upside down relative to sales and marketing spend.
Yeah, and just to be clear, that is $100 million in new ARR bookings per year per rep.
Pardon me?
That's
$1 million in ARR booking per rep.
My question is over what period? Is that a monthly target or
It's an annual.
Oh, it's annually. Okay, interesting. And obviously this is a little sensitive because it's a salary question, but do you generally like just that 1 million is like 5x the full OT kind of comp for that salesperson?
That will roughly right.
Roughly. Is that a pattern you look at when instrumenting a sales team based off your CR role in the past and this one today, or no, that's not an important ratio to look at?
Oh yeah, sure. You want to make sure that your spend on sales and marketing is appropriate to delivered quota. So it's a ratio. And if a rep was bringing in 500K instead of $1 million, I don't think we'd pay him as much.
Yeah, good answer. All right, so customers. Obviously, you weren't there on day one, but when you came in, explain to me kind of the first one or two customers that kind of you helped bring into the company. Where were they from? What growth channels were you using?
Ooh, that's a good question. So we were probably 30 customers at the time. We're now roughly 150, plus or minus a few. First customer, I don't know if I can even put it into the name of who that was. I think the world is part of relationships and network. But candidly, I find if it's my relationship, I don't have an effective engine, and so I wanted to build and enable a sales organization so I didn't have to participate in that prospect, if you will. Certainly, I'm in touch with our customers and what we do. But yeah, I don't know if I could.
That's okay. How aggressive as a CEO and as a team are you willing to be to get that $150,000 ACV customer? Are you cool with a 12-month payback, or have you pushed that up to 24 months so you can be more aggressive?
We're now at a magic number of 1 to 1.1.
Explain what that means. We don't get to talk about that a lot.
So that would be a measure of your sales efficiency. So if you were to take for instance, if we had 2 quarters go by, you take your current quarter, like let's say Q2 of ARR, you subtract it from your last quarter's ARR, multiply it times 4, so you have an annual rate, and then divide it by your last quarter's sales and marketing expense. And so if you're at a ratio of 1 or above, you're roughly running a fairly efficient today unit economic sales metric. And then you say, do I want to pour more gas in the fire and expand? And by the way, magic number by itself isn't really important if you're not also looking at gross margins and other things that matter relative to operating efficiency and use of capital.
So Jason, to simplify that math, is this statement true? You're spending between $1 and $1.10 to get $1 new dollar of ARR?
Correct.
Yeah. Cool. So on a $150,000 account, you'll spend between $150 and call it $160,000-$70,000 to get that account.
Yeah, right. Actually, correct. That's right.
Yeah. Now, where is most that spend going towards? Obviously, sales commissions is obvious. Is there any kind of unknown or kind of weird new channels you're testing and spending a lot on that are working?
We as an outbound organization, we're constantly trying to get more inbound and drive inbound through more efficient marketing to drive that. That's the marketing as a line item we spend more on. We have an inbound channel of BDRs. Actually, it's inbound and outbound. And then it's probably the balance between those functions. We have now also partner networks that we're leveraging additional revenue from.
Mm-hmm. And take me into, obviously, stickiness in any SaaS company is critical, right? So when you look at over the last 12 months, gross revenue churn, what is that? Are you under 5%?
We're at 94% and roughly. And
that's retention, not churn, hopefully.
Oh, correct. Sorry. And,
you would not have a business. You would not have a business.
Slightly above 120% net retention.
Got it. So that would mean if you're churning 6%, that means you have about 26% expansion on the cohorts to get 120% net.
That's right.
That would so that's actually, in my opinion, based off we've done thousands of these interviews, right? I would say like world class at your ACV range is more like 130, 140%. What do you need to do to get your expansion up higher above 26% year over year?
I think it's a combination of things, but it's world-class product. So we continue to evolve the product to the sort of customer needs for the efficiency and the more use, the more workflow that we're able to enable in the daily seller and marketer, and have that cross collaboration, the stickier the product gets, which then in turn drives net retention. We're releasing new products every month. And so that additional feature that completes the product roadmap allows for the retention.
When you look at your different pricing axes, obviously number of seats is one, feature-based upselling is another, and then some data or utility-based upsell is one. Some people call it use bases. What is your usage metric? Is it number of records attained, or what is it?
We have all those three that you mentioned. So we have database size, we have number of users on the platform, we have our AI and ML models built, so you can have different product categories that you're focused on, which also be incremental revenue.
When you say database size, literally measured by number of records, or is it literally a storage number?
Number of records.
Okay, interesting. So that pricing axis is based off number of records.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, very good. And then I assume obviously you're burning to drive growth, right? Are you comfortable with $1 million a month in burn?
I am comfortable.
How far will you push that up? Obviously, relative to the last raise you did, do you tend to raise for 18 months of run rate, 24, 36 months? Where do you put it?
I tend to do it for 18 months. And, we're constantly trying to bring burn down, and I'm comfortable sort of in measured growth against efficiency.
Yeah. So last round was 27 million. If you're covering 18 months of burn, I mean, you code basically for saying you're cool with a 1 to 1.5 million kind of burn per month as you try and scale.
Yeah, I $1 million would be my objective or lower.
Yeah, that's your I can sleep good at night number.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, good. And then we can do the math, right? You mentioned 150 customers. You mentioned earlier about $150,000 ACV. It puts you about 1.8 million per month in MRR. Is that about right?
I'm not going to confirm that, but
okay. Well, I'm only taking numbers you already gave me. So you said 150 customers and $150,000 ARPU. If one of those numbers is not accurate, we should fix it.
Yeah. So are you trying to get at our annual ARR?
Sure.
We're in the range between 20 and 50.
When do you think you break 50? Can you hit it next year comfortably, or it's a stretch goal?
Yeah, we can hit it comfortably.
Okay, interesting. Very cool. Let's wrap up here with the famous 5, Jason. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
Favorite business book probably would be from Andreessen Horowitz, The Hard Thing About Hard Things.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
All the big SaaS CEOs.
No, come on, don't be lazy. Pick one.
Well, I actually, with Benioff and Salesforce as an investor, we model a lot of practices around their early growth success.
Yeah. Let's say you're on the minimum side of the range. You just gave me 20 million in ARR. If Benioff comes and offers you 10x that, right, 200 million, do you sell?
No.
Yeah, it's boring for you. You already had a 1.6 billion exit. You got to get up to 3, 4, 5 to really get your blood going, right?
There's just more value in the company. I told you we could comfortably hit in the next year, and so
yeah,
use that metric.
Yeah, no, that's good. All right, number 3, what's your favorite online tool for building your company besides your own?
Online tool for building the company. Well, the one that gets most often used is Slack. I don't know if it's my favorite tool. I'm not sure if it's social or productivity, but we enjoy it.
Too many memes in your Slack feed, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, number 4.
Actually, honestly, it does help us stay connected.
Yeah. Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
6.
And situation, married, single, kiddos?
Married with 3 kids.
3. Oh my gosh, you have your hands full. How old are you?
I'm 49.
49. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
That every relationship you have is important, and build that network.
Guys, there you have it. 6sense serving 150 customers, a much better way to do kind of account-based marketing using machine learning, artificial intelligence, and a lot of data sources. Those customers pay on average $150,000 per year. The company today doing between 20 and 50 million bucks in ARR, hoping to break 50 million easily next year. They've raised about $60 million. Jason's comfortable with $1 million a month in burn as he looks to scale. 150 folks on the team, 43 engineers, 18 quota-carrying sales reps, 6% gross annual revenue churn with 26% expansion means 120% net revenue retention. He's totally cool with about a 1.1 magic number, meaning he spends $1 or up to $1.10 to get a new dollar of ARR. Jason, thanks for taking us to the top.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Nathan. Thanks for your time.